On today's episode, we're thrilled to have a very special guest here with us. From Miami-Dade County Public Schools, joining us is Brenda L. Swain, the Region Superintendent for Central Region Office in MDCPS. Ms. Swain is an educator with 32 years of experience with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Ms. Swain served as a teacher for 14 years, an assistant principal for 7 years, a principal for 9 years, and a region administrative director for 2 years. Ms. Swain has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Bethune-Cookman University, a master's degree in reading education from FIU, and a specialist degree in education leadership from Nova Southeastern University. Ms. Swain served as the assistant principal at Miami Shores Elementary for 5 years before her direct appointment as the first African American principal of Miami Shores Elementary. After serving the Miami Shores community for 14 years, she was appointed to an administrative director position with the Central Region Office within Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Ms. Swain has one son, Dwayne Jr. Her son is now 20 years old and continues to grow daily, despite challenges he faces with having autism. Ms. Swain's motivation for making it through the days that she sees tough is simply her son. If someone asked Brenda Swain what word describes her and her educational journey, she would say relentless. We can't wait to dive into her journey, hear about the challenges she's faced, the lessons she's learned, and her vision for the future. So let's get ready to be inspired. Welcome, Ms. Swain, to Her Story, Our Strength.
Thank you.
As you can see, we are all very excited to have you here.
So am I. I'm excited to be here.
So let's start with questions. Getting to know you from a student's perspective, were you more of an outgoing or introverted person in school?
Ooh, I was definitely outgoing. I was definitely an outgoing person. I never met a stranger. I was always willing to talk to someone, always willing to help someone. I was a part of the pep team, the dance team. We also had an African American club. I attended Miami Springs Senior High, home of the Golden Hawks. Once a Hawk, always a Hawk. So that was exciting for me. So I would definitely say I was one of the popular kids.
Okay. Would you say you excelled academically or more extracurricular based?
I would say academically. My mom was a single parent. And she always kind of talked about the fact that it was just the two of us against the world. So, and we had been that way since I was about 3 years old. And so academics was very big for her. She wanted to make certain that I knew that academics would be the bridge that would also help to carry us over. And although she was did not receive a formal education, if you will, she firmly believed in it. She thought that it was very, very important, especially for women. So definitely.
Do you think that what your mother instilled in you helped you get to college and where you are today?
Oh, definitely. I think that, and like most of you, you see yourself, you look at the possibilities of where you could possibly be, but then you have your parents that are going to guide you and push you. Sometimes you're going to meet people in life that are going to see things in you that you might not see in yourself. So take that on, and I think that one of your people that are going to do that for you guys while you're here is going to be your principal. So make sure you look at that. Sometimes you can't see all that you have within you, so please internalize some of the comments that the teachers and the administrators that you have. They see a lot of good in you, so you want to make sure you continue to push.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With that, what do you think is the most vital skill necessary that you've had to acquire in your career path and getting to where you are today?
I want to say my communication skills. I want to say definitely being able to communicate with people. So communication to me is a two-way street. Not only do you have something to say, but you also have to listen. And you don't necessarily listen just for the purpose of responding to whatever it is they have to say, but you want to internalize what people bring to you. And then you want to regurgitate it so that they understand that you understood what they spoke to you about. So communication is a skill that I think I do very well with. I think that I do a good job of listening to people and hearing what their needs are. And then being able to have a conversation with them to gather more dialogue. Because you want to keep people talking. And when you keep them talking, then that means that they're able to tell you first of all, did you reach the goal that they actually had in mind from the conversation itself? And what can you do next to make their lives a little bit better?
It's very, very important.
Yes.
What advice do you have to students who are looking to follow a career similar to yours?
So, I did not start out in education. So I started, my undergraduate degree is in psychology. So my original goal was that I was going to change the world because I was going to help every student, every young person to be able to be better with their mental health, right? That was my goal. And then I decided to start substitute teaching. And so when I did that, I was bit by the bug of education. So I decided that I wanted to have an effect on lives. So that's when I got into education. So I guess my suggestion would be is to, if education is your path, start there. Take a hold of it and just floor it. Just move forward with it. That would be I think that would be my suggestion. Find out whatever your path is and just move forward. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the biggest sacrifice you've had to make to get to where you are today?
So I think time. Think time sometimes. So as you heard, I have one son, and my son is autistic, and he's actually nonverbal. So he has a dual diagnosis, and it is autism and language impairment. So I think what has happened is that a lot of my kids that were at Miami Shores got to know my son because they would see him around a lot. So I had his bike there. If I had to go to the school on Saturday and Sunday, I would take his bike and he would ride in our courtyard. Then there were times, I have many pictures of him sitting across the desk from me. He's eating his dinner there. Those are the sacrifices that I felt like I made. But I made those sacrifices because this is a job that I wanted, and a job being the principal is a job that I love. Love being a principal. I gotta say that's probably my favorite job. So therefore, if I made that commitment to the students that I service, I felt like sometimes I didn't give a lot to my son. But now I'm able to balance that out, and I had to find a balance for that. So once I was able to do that, it didn't feel like such a big sacrifice at that point.
Yeah, I think
And all of my kids are great kids, so.
balance is definitely key in a lot of
Yes.
things. What do you think was your favorite part of, I know you said you wanted your favorite was being a principal. What made it your favorite? What was the best part of that job?
I think walking in every day, when you work with children, children see the world very different. And sometimes when you would have your new kindergarten students or your new pre-K students that would come in, they were seeing things and experiencing things for the very first time. So you get to see it all over again and experience it all over again for the first time, just like your children would. But then also, when I saw my fifth grade students, we would have our fifth grade activities at Barry University. So it was a grand affair. And when we would go and to see them walk across the stage, and I knew that there was so much promise that was leaving there. But to have the experience that I played a part in them becoming so successful is probably one of my greatest accomplishments, I would say.
So talking about balance, what are some ways you have found that help you differentiate between your career and personal interests?
So I would say that anybody that's going to be really well versed and dedicated to their job, like your principal, the thing that we have to do, this is what I've found, is that when you decide that you're going to be in your personal life, the biggest thing is to be present. Be present in your personal life. If there is something that is going on, take a moment, step away from whatever is happening at work, at school, and just be present. You have to always say to yourself, I have to give my undivided attention right now, in my case, to my son. When you're sitting at dinner with your parents and they're asking you questions and you have your cell phones out, I would always make my nephew put his cell phone down, and he had to give me eye contact because I wanted to be present in the moment. I wanted to enjoy it, and I wanted to remember it. And I think if you do that balance, when you go back to your work life, I think you're better at it because you've taken a break from it for a moment. So remember, always be present in whatever's happening at that time because time goes by really fast, ladies. You may not think so, but it really does. It goes by fast.
It does.
Yep.
If you had a time machine, what advice would you give your younger self?
I would give my advice to my younger self is to slow down. Don't rush to get out of high school. Don't rush to get out of college. You got time for that. Enjoy the moment. And then take in everything that that particular experience, in your case now, that high school has to offer you. You're going to meet some friends that are going to be friends for the rest of your lives. And that's a good thing, because for women, we need that type of camaraderie. We need that type of fellowship with each other. So you're going to develop those friendships. And then in college, when you go to college, you're going to meet people that are going to come from different parts of the world, that are going to have different cultural experiences that you might not have. But you're going to be respectful of those, and you're going to learn to grow, to develop a love for that. So I would just simply say to myself, slow down and just go ahead and experience the moment and enjoy it.
Do you think there would be anything that you would change that you think might have helped you get to where you are faster?
I don't think so, because I think, and as I was speaking to Miss Rivera earlier today, I think that we all line up and we end up exactly the place that we're supposed to be at the time we're supposed to be there. I believe that everything is by divine intervention. It happens. That this is where we are supposed to be. I think this position for me at this time came at the time that it was supposed to come. Whether or not if I was ready for it or not, it was coming. So therefore, you have to basically embrace it.
You
and
adapt.
and that's what and adapt, and that's what I try to do. So yes.
What do you think was one of the most significant barriers you faced as a female in the workforce?
I think as a female, and then you guys are probably going to be experiencing it now as well. And that sometimes that we still, I believe we still live in a society where some people believe that women, that we don't do it as well, or we can't do it better, but we can. And there are sometimes we have to lend ourselves to be able to stand tall. So one of the barriers could have been at some point that people didn't listen because I might have been a female. But you know what? You stand firm on it. And you stand firm on that message that you are trying to deliver. Don't waver from your message because you think that someone might not want to hear it. Your message is good. It is sound. It doesn't hurt anyone. Stand firm on your message. So I think that's probably the only barrier, that sometimes people might not have listened because it was coming from the perspective of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely. Do you have anything that you wish you would have taken advantage of during school that you think could have helped you in your career path?
You know, in college, I wish I had actually traveled a little bit more. I wish I had actually seen a little bit more of the world prior to going into the workforce, because college to me was one of the best times of my life as well. I didn't have bills, you know. My mom kind of took care of everything. And then I kind of had this carefree spirit. But then when you move further into adulthood and actually into your careers, it kind of streamlines you a little bit and you become a little bit more serious. So for me, I would have done a little bit more traveling. And now one of the things that I do is my goal is to take my son to all 50 states. So every year we probably do 2 states so that I can get through all 50 of the states. So that's something. So I'm trying to, even though he's nonverbal, and there are sometimes some behaviors that he experienced, but he likes to travel. So that's a good thing. So I've had him to be bit by the travel bug now. So yeah.
That's amazing. All right, last question. How do you envision the future for women in leadership?
But listen, you guys can do anything you want to. Anything you want to. You all are so, actually you have the power more so than you know you do. You all are so powerful. You all are sitting here now and you're listening to me. I am a product of a single parent home, but my mom was so strong. And my mom actually moved from a very small town that was near Tallahassee to be able to come to Miami because of the opportunities that she had. Even then, she was thinking about, what am I going to do for my daughter? What opportunities am I going to give my daughter? So the thing about it is, don't limit yourself. You have the power, and some of you don't even know it. We're going to look back soon and be able to see all the fabulous things that you guys have done, things that we don't even think about. Ms. Rivera and I don't even think about right now that you guys are going to do. So my point is, be relentless in your efforts and keep pushing.
Absolutely. Okay. So to end on a little bit of a lighter note, we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So what type of music do you listen to when you're stressed?
Oh, 90s rap.
Do you think we should get homework? Yes or no?
No.
I don't think so either. Okay, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, Buffalo hot wings.
Okay, well, that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for joining
thank you.
us today, of course, and thank you to our audience and everyone watching at home. And that's it. That's all we have.